Hey folks, welcome back to the Repedia world, and I am Abhinay Gupta. And today again we will continue with the Securities and Exchange Board of India Act 1992. In short, the SEBI Act 1992. Right? So I hope the previous lecture was useful for you and you have created certain picturizations in your mind. Remember what I told you, that you have to build up certain picturization, right? A certain story, a concept, a scene in your mind so that it remains there for long. You will not be able to search for words. You will be able to search for a movie, right? So today, as I told you, we'll start the discussion, right? Prohibiting fraudulent and unfair trade practices relating to security market. So if there is any fraudulent or unfair trade practice. Now what is an unfair trade practice? As a company, I want to issue my share, I inflate it. Right? I take the share, I run away. I can do that, right? Fraudulent. A lot of cases have also been there. Like if you refer back to the case of Harshad Mehta and stuff, that was a fraudulent act. Right? So SEBI tends to prohibit that. SEBI takes action and puts all the checks and controls so that these fraudulent activities are controlled. So in the recent time, you will not see a lot of these things popping up. But in the past, you have had huge scams. Every industry that do not have a regulation, understand, they will have a lot of scams. And because of certain scams that have happened, you stop trusting the entire industry. Getting the point? Now the scam is not done by the industry. The scam is done by the individual. Harshad Mehta did a scam in the stock market and we stopped trusting the stock market. We think no, our money is gonna go to vain. So when SEBI came up and everything got regulated, we are again comfortable with investment in the stock market. Similarly with RERA, the estate, a lot of scams. Properties sold on unauthorized land, properties bought for 10 lakhs, sold for 15 crores, whatever has happened. Right? It's all about what I have with me, how I portray it and how much I sell it for. That is the marketing, that is sales. Right? So I had a property with price value maybe 15 lakhs and I sold it for 45-50 lakhs. Who is gonna regulate me? Nobody. So unless and until there were this, there were a lot of people. Same properties are sold to 3 people. Scam, right? Now how was that possible? It's because there was no regulation to put a check on that. I file in my paper, my document in 4 different banks at the same time. All of them they issue the loan. I took the loan, I ran away. And the same property is mortgaged with 4 different banks. Why? Because I went at the same time. They could not have a background check because nothing happened till then. All of a sudden 4 loans. These were situations that have happened in the market and I'm discussing. But now since things are being regulated day by day, so now we'll have to be even more smart if you want to get into fraudulent activities. Right, so it's becoming difficult day by day, but still, bigger scams are still coming up. Right, so they need to prohibit this. So SEBI gets into a regulation that helps to prohibit this. Right, then promoting investor education and training of intermediaries of security market. Now you must have seen in the past there were a lot of programs launched by SEBI, right? Where SEBI launched a 1-day program, 2-day program to educate the investors. So they had their seminar and everything where the investors are educated about how to evaluate, how to take action, how to do this, how to do that, a lot of how related things. And then at the back some of why related things as to why are you supposed to invest, why should you invest. First they motivate them why to invest. When they're ready to invest, they tell them how to invest, right? So educating an investor is very important. They should be knowing that there are regulations, there are authorized people to take care of. I should not be going to anywhere and anybody. Somebody comes and tells me, hey, give me 2 crore rupees, I'll make the investment on your behalf, I'll get you a return of 10% and stuff. I am very happy, I give that 2 crore and that guy is gone. Whom do I catch hold? Nobody. So all these education as to whom to approach, how to go about, what to do, what not to do are taught, and that is a part of investor education program. The intermediaries who are there, they are educated, they are registered, understood, but how to act, there are some amendments, some change, some controls. These trainings are provided to the intermediaries by SEBI. So understand, SEBI is not just sitting at the top to punish you. SEBI is taking a lot of pain to regulate the entire industry and to keep it safe for you and for me. Else who? We are investors. There are a lot of companies who take funds over there. So all of us, who saves us? SEBI, from the hands of those fraudulent people, right? Prohibiting insider trading associated with security market. This is a big thing. So you have had incidences of insider trading in the past in the stock exchange, right? In the market, in the company, lot of these aspects. Now, do you relate to what is insider trading? I think I have explained insider trading already in previous or the previous to previous lecture, a little bit of it. I'll repeat it again, right? Don't go back to the lecture to look at it. Just create a picture. You are a director sitting in the office, right? It's the month of November or October, right? What is going to happen is you are preparing results. The P&L account, basically. For results, you don't give out the balance sheet, you give out the P&L account as to what is the company performing. And sitting in the office, when you are sitting with the auditors and preparing that limited review thing and the result and everything, what you found out that as compared to the previous quarter, you have a huge rise in your graph. What would you do? You would anticipate a rise in the stock price, right? Because as the result is published, public is gonna go crazy. Okay, this company is rising, let's buy the stock. So you know that if you buy the stocks right now where the prices are low, you will be able to sell them after the results are declared and you'll make some margin in it, right? So I'm just taking one example. There are huge examples of insider trading. You can't even imagine, I can't even imagine, and that happens, and then later it is coming in the newspaper that it's an insider trading incident. Right? So now the director knows it. Now director can let this price sensitive information reach out to somebody who will buy. That is insider trading. Can reach out to buy by himself. That is insider trading. So insider trading is when someone inside means someone who is a part of that management, who knows, who has all the information. They use the price sensitive information, means those information that are going to impact the price of the stocks and the shares. They use it for their benefit or to manipulate it. That is insider trading. Huge penalties. Right, we'll come to those penalties as well, but huge penalties. So for you and me, it's huge basically, but people who are at that level doing those insider trading, for them it is again chilled. Right? Next, exercising powers delegated to it by the central government. Right? So there are powers delegated to the stock exchange by central government. Now they need to exercise those powers into their own capacity, and that the power is taken care of really well and efficient manner. That is the lookout of SEBI. Right? If I just open up all the things for you, right? So these are 4. I've just written it in short, right? Whatever module you're following, follow. I would still suggest go and just follow Institute module. If you want an understanding of the topics, follow Institute module. If you want to just clear your examination by mugging up things and practicing the questions and all those things, go and follow whatever you want to. But if you actually want some knowledge about the topic, about the subject matter, like my purpose motive, as I told you already, disclaimer given, is that I am not preparing you specifically for examination. Yeah, I'll let you know how to attempt, I'll let you know what is important, not important. All those things will be done simple, like any other teacher does, right? But my focus is to give you an understanding of the subject matter. That is why I always lay a stress on following the Institute study material and practice manual. Because there they give it in detail. It is lengthy. There are a lot of topics which will never appear in the examination. But do you think Institute has gone crazy that they are writing, publishing or printing such huge materials? No. They also want to be cost effective. They can cut it down at any point of time, but why don't they? It's because they're not preparing you to qualify the exams. They're preparing you to be knowledgeable when you are out in the market. Right? Let's get back to it. Then calling for certain, if I'm just reading from the text, right? So that I can explain it to you. So calling of information from undertaking inspection, conducting inquiries and audit of stock exchange, mutual fund and other persons associated with the stock market, intermediaries and the self-regulatory organizations, security market, etc. So SEBI can call for information from wherever they want. Right? So there is somebody who is undertaking inspection, somebody conducting inquiries, audit of stock exchange, a lot of things are happening. Right? Now if SEBI actually wants to perform good on it, SEBI actually wants to come up with a positive outcome, so that today if you have figured out a point where I'm not going very great, I need to amend it. And for amendment, I need to know the background behind. So SEBI wants anything, can call for information from anybody. He can also call for information and record from any person, including any bank or any other authority or board or corporation established or constituted by or under any central or state act, which in the opinion of the board shall be relevant to any investigation or inquiry by the board in respect of such transaction. So now, for example, I bought in a share, right? I'll share a case, and then this case will be related and referred in 2-3 topics now. Now, my limit of investment is 10%. I want to invest for 20% shares of a company. What do? I'll try to find a loophole. What is the best loophole I would get is, let me take some shares on my name, maybe 7-8%, some 7-8% on my sister's name or my friend's name, some 7% on my brother-in-law's name, 7-8 and 4-5. I reach up to 20, so I segregate. Understand, when I am taking shares, who pays for that? I myself, right? Although I create them as a dummy people, as a dummy personality in front of the stock exchange, that okay, you are giving the shares to them, whatever profit will be earning will go to them, but at the back end, who is supplying the fund, who will receive the benefit is me. Now, how will SEBI come to know about this? For SEBI, it's me and 3 other people standing together asking for 20% shares. SEBI will give a lot, and after going home, who keeps the share, who knows? So for this, how will SEBI track is, SEBI will ask my banker to give certain information about my bank records to check whether all the payment has been routed through my bank. And if that is so, that means these are only dummy people standing in front. The actual person getting all the benefit of all this share, and the person who is trying to get their finger into that loophole will be caught. So SEBI has all these powers. This is a power, right? Specific power of SEBI, that it can call for information or record from any of the bank or the regulatories who are registered under any state or central act. So they can interfere, right? They have that power. They can call for information from or furnishing information to other authorities, whether in India or outside, having functions similar to those of SEBI in the matter relating to the prevention or detection of violation in respect of the securities law subject to the provision. See, if I actually show you, this is your institute study material, right? You relate to it. This is what we go ahead with, regulating all these things. Getting the point? This is where I'm reading from again. Calling for information from or furnishing information to other authorities, whether in India or outside India, having functions similar to those of the board in the matter relating to the prevention or detection of violation in respect of security law. Now, then provided that the board, for the purpose of furnishing an information to any authority outside India, may enter into an agreement or agreements to or understanding with such authority with the prior approval of central government. Now, see, long text, long things over there. Now, what you need to remember and write in your examination also is that you can call for information and you can also share information with other authorities, whether in India or outside. That is enough for the examination point of view. But for understanding, now understand there are certain organizations outside. SEBI will not go behind very small players who are, even if they are trying to manipulate, they are manipulating in couple of lakhs. Right? It's below the ADPT. It's below the materiality, if I talk in audit terms. But there are certain companies which are huge organizations. They don't have the establishment only in India. They have a company registered in India, a company registered in UK, US, Uganda, Dubai, all the other places. Right? Now, where is the money being routed and where is it coming back from has to be tracked. Now, SEBI being in India cannot track, okay, this much money went out, from there this much money came in. What is the relation? How will that be built? That will be built by getting associated to those organizations and getting information from them. And sharing with them the information about this company in India as well. So they share those information among themselves so that it's mutual benefit and they can prevent this company to get into any advantageous position. Right? So all these have been the power that has been vested upon SEBI. Then it talks about performing such functions and exercising such power under the provision of the Security Contract Regulation Act as may be delegated to it by the central government. So SCRA is another act, and this act was actually earlier governing the stock exchange before SEBI had come into place. But now also, if SCRA has given certain powers that the central government has delegated to them, then SEBI can perform such functions. SEBI has the power to perform those functions, and all those powers can be used by SEBI as well that has been vested on SCRA. Levying fees or other charges for carrying out the purpose of this section. Now all the tasks will not be done by SEBI from their own fund. I'm investigating somebody because that somebody has done a problem. I'll charge them a fee. You are coming for some advice, you are coming to get in and get into action for some things. Whatever, I'll not get into detail because a lot of things. Right, what will happen? You'll come, I'll say, okay, you want to act, you want to be a part, please, this is the fee that is to be charged. Pay us because even we need to run the administration. How do we do that? Right, so they can levy fees and any other charges also that they want. But that has to be reasonable, right, and rational. Go to the next sheet. Yeah, we have 3 more left over here. That is conducting research for the above purpose. So for doing all these things as to what fees will be levied, where the information has to flow and all those things, right? They can conduct research also for that. Now why are these powers given? Because conducting research will again cost them. That will cost them time, that will cost them manpower, that will cost them money. The government gives them the power. Okay, go get into your research, do whatever you want to do. Ultimately what we want is the stock market should be regulated. The security market should be regulated. They can call from or furnish to any such agency as may be specified by the board such information as may be considered necessary by it for the efficient discharge of its function. So whatever you need, whatever information from any agency, from any board that SEBI needs to discharge their function effectively, SEBI will do it. Like I told you, in my case, they'll go to my bank to ask for my bank details, whether the money is routed from my bank. Right? So they can approach, they can get that information because ultimately they have to act upon it. Right? And then again, the law, the beauty of the law, they keep the space open, performing such other functions as may be prescribed. And where will it be prescribed? Anything else coming up will be prescribed in the rules. Right? So you have seen there a lot of time. They are very smart people. They don't write everything over here and just keep a room open. If something new pops up, we'll prescribe it over there. Let's not take a headache of inserting everything over here. Right, so this is one line you all remember, huh? You'll write in the examination, and such other function as may be prescribed. The most favorite line of all the students. Let's get back to the PPT. So that is it. So if I look at the entire thing, I did not copy paste everything on the PPT. I just tried to give you a shortcut so there are certain bullet points that help you remember it. Right? So following measures may be used, and all these points are there, and I hope it's all clear with you. Now you know who are the people, what are the powers. A base of the movie is created. This is the opening scene of the movie. Right? The movie is a long way to go. A lengthy chapter, I must say, a little difficult, a little tricky chapter again, I must say, but an important chapter because every year you have at least an 8-mark question from this chapter. So you cannot lose it light. Plus, this is going to help you a lot after you qualify. Because when you are getting into the real world, you should be knowing these things, right? If you are getting the investments, you should be knowing these things. So this is going to help you for your life, plus your examination, right? Just a two-way benefit. Go ahead with that, right? So I'll see you guys back in the next lecture. Until then, this is Abhinay Gupta signing off. Thank you and bye-bye. God bless.